Hi everyone, welcome to my talk, Writing a Personal Statement for a Newly Registered Nurse Post. The session's aimed for near to registering students who might have a bit of a block on writing a personal statement and I know how stressful it's been the last 2 years with the pandemic and with placements, so hopefully it'll go towards helping you in some way. And I've also got a talk coming out on preparing for interviews as well, if you're interested. So I'm going to give you some simple exercises and advice to prepare before you start writing a personal statement, and then some practical examples to help structure your personal statement. So my first key tip is to take time to prepare your personal statement. At the moment, across the UK, there are a lot of roles out there available for a newly registered nurse to apply for, and you can also apply for roles that are for any healthcare professional. So, for example, you might apply for a research role that's open to any registered healthcare professional. The more competitive the post, the more you require a strong personal statement. Now, at the moment, because there's so many newly registered nursing posts, it means that there's more choice available to you and you're more likely to be shortlisted. However, if it's the area you really have your heart set on is really popular, there may be limited vacancies, then you need to you don't want to risk not being shortlisted, so you want to try and put an effort into preparing that personal statement, and also don't apply too late because the vacancies may have gone. So the next tip, adhere to guidance notes. So you write free text in a personal statement or a supporting information section as opposed to bullet points. So always do what's requested on the personal statement, supporting information. And I've seen a lot of employers have vast differences in the guidance and information notes. So some employers will have very broad guidance and just say, write a 300-word personal statement in support of your application, and others start to indicate what they want. So they might state your reasons for applying for this role, highlight your key attributes and skills. So just make sure you do what it says in the guidance notes. When adhering to the guidance notes, keep within the allocated word limit. So because applications are automated, it'll be quite difficult for you to go over usually on the word limit, and don't feel that you have to fill the whole personal statement box with words if you're starting to waffle and try and find words. You can be concise, but you want to sort of fill it by 3/4 really as a minimum. Don't repeat information or cut and paste narrative from other sections of your application, and always proofread for mistakes. And I'm often asked, can you use words like I and my rather than the applicant? And absolutely, yes, you can. Part of your background preparation is looking at what you're applying for. So the first thing I usually suggest people do is to read the job description, and you'll have essential and desirable personal specifications. But if you look at the job description, you will see key headings and themes linked to the role, and they're really good to sort of write down and bullet points, such as team working, compassionate care, quality care, and there'll be keywords that come out at you when you're reviewing that job description. So write a few notes on the job description so you know exactly what you're applying for and what the key elements are. The next thing I would look at is, what is the specialist field that you're applying for and the role that you're applying for, because you need to know about what you're applying for. And I do know that some students might have worked in the area before and be really specific and know exactly which area, and others don't. Sometimes you don't because you haven't had a broad range of placements, for example, or you haven't tried a placement area or specialist field. You haven't had that opportunity and you want to try something completely new, and that's absolutely fine. But go and find out about the area. So you can go on the intranet the local employer will have, wherever you work, be it in a private setting, be it in community, in a prison, you will have an employer website. You can book an informal visit, you can try and speak to experienced staff and look at local information about that area. And that will really help you. You can write some notes down, and it might be that the themes that are in the job description start linking. You can see some links there. You might also have some really good detail from doing that, from the background preparation, to help you with your interview as well. So it's always a great bit of research to do. And if you are interested, I have a video coming out on how to choose your first nursing post. So if you haven't already chosen, there's some key tips in there, looking at informal visits and deciding where and choosing your first post. What I would suggest you do when you've done a bit of background preparation is summarise key areas from your background research, and that will help inform your personal statement later. So after doing your background reading, you've looked at the criteria for application, you may want to look at your core values and interests. Again, just writing some notes and think about your key nursing values, highlight current or past achievements that demonstrate those values. Why are you interested in the role or this specialist area or employer? And it's not writing lots of text, just focus down on what those key important areas are for you. Do you have career ambitions in the area or specific nursing role that you're aspiring to? You might not know yet, and that's absolutely fine too. To review those values and to look at those core values, it might be helpful to firstly look back on your placement and university experiences, and it's really lovely to do anyway. It's something I used to do as a personal tutor with my degree students, to see how far you've come, because you can get in a bit of a rut as a third year. It can be really tiring with all the work you've got to do, the modules, your dissertation and your sign off. And when you see how far you've come as a first year to now, it can really help put in context your development. And it will also help you choose some good examples relating to your key achievements, and you can summarise all the placement areas that you've worked in as well, which is a great thing to do. Reflect on what you've achieved, summarise your development from first year to final year, and as I said, you might want to list those placement specialist areas or clump them together as acute hospital settings, community settings, rehabilitation, depending on what fields of nursing, but you can get a good overview and summarise that in a paragraph. And looking at placement feedback and looking at your strengths, what did your practice supervisors say about your placement and your skill development, and looking at academic achievements. And you can ask personal tutors, practice assessors, supervisors to help you if you're struggling with this. And then it can help you to highlight one or two achievements from practice or from course assessments that link to the job or the specialist area that you're applying for. If you're struggling to highlight achievements, really everybody's got strengths and weaknesses and areas they're interested in and can develop, and you don't have to have won lots of awards or been a student rep to demonstrate achievements, although it's great if you've got some of those achievements. Do any degree, coursework, assessment topics stand out or link to the role that you're applying for? And you might have had some fantastic placement experience. Could you link your dissertation or a past presentation or a critical analysis or a service improvement proposal, for example? Have you received excellent feedback from practice supervisors or practice assessors linked to your compassionate or collaborative approach or team working? And this is fantastic evidence to put in a personal statement. Now that you've done the exercises on the previous slides and you've written some notes, you've looked back in your previous placement experiences and academic work and project work, we can look at structuring your personal statement. And just to note, there's some example personal statements in my book, How to Prepare for Interview. There is example personal statements on the Royal College of Nursing website as well. And you can use your own paragraphing. This is just an example here, and you might want to fiddle around with it, and you need to look at how your narrative flows because it's your personal statement. So an example might be paragraph 1, you could potentially give an overview of a range of placement experiences and academic achievements. You might, so the work that I talked to you previously about summarising the areas, the variety, your core values you might want to give, hardworking, motivated to learn, talk about your interests, what inspires you as a nurse, what nursing means to you. That initial paragraph will flow once you've done a few of those exercises before and what works for you. Paragraph 2 might be to look at why you aspire to this specific role or specialism or to work with this employer. If you've worked as a student in the area or had an informal visit, you can mention that there. How does it link to your future career development? What do you hope to achieve or learn that will inform your professional development? You might want to put. The main body of your personal statement, you might want to align some paragraphs, as I mentioned earlier, to key themes that come out of the job description. So if you're going for an education type role, you might want to draw out on a presentation that you did or some patient information project that you completed while you were a student. If you're looking at working in an acute care area or rehabilitation area, you might want to draw on some practice experiences and some placement feedback, for example. But doing the previous exercises will help you decide what goes in and what you want to choose to highlight in your personal statement to show that you're the right person for this role. And then paragraph 6, end on a positive, might be your future ambition or professional career ambitions. To strengthen personal statements, when you're looking at the text in those paragraphs, I've just put some examples just to get you to think about the so what, to apply it to the role, because people sometimes forget to do that and it makes it stronger. Don't worry if you haven't done that and you've already handed a personal statement in, but as you progress and go along different career pathways, you will find that it will strengthen your personal statement. So an example, if you're doing, I've just put some example narrative here for an introduction. So over the last 3 years, I have experienced a wide variety of placements across specialist areas and settings, such as, and you might give an overview. But think about the so what. What did you achieve from doing that wide range of placements? How does it relate to the application and the role? So if you were going to go into an ICU area, here you might say, and during the experiences in the acute care settings, this is what I gained, linked to airway management, etc., etc., and linking it in nicely into an ICU role. And you can do that for any specialist area or any role. There'll be something you can draw from those experiences. Some more example text. This helped me realise that I most enjoyed working in hospitals to support people with acute, or it could be long-term needs, it could be working in the community. But then, so you're saying what you enjoyed during your course, but link it specifically to the role. And it's that little bit extra that just makes it a little bit stronger. As I said, don't worry if you haven't done that. Some more example. I'm a 3rd year adult nursing student due to finish my course in whatever year, or July 2022, with a predicted, whatever your degree classification. I'm hardworking, motivated to learn, passionate about whichever area you're interested in, or my interest has developed over the last 3 years during placement or during an informal visit. Fantastic, but so what? How does it link to what did it help you achieve, and how does it relate to the role? Just in 1 or 2 sentences, you don't have to write a lot, I mean, you can write more than that, but you can see, rather than just saying, it's almost like when you write reflective essays, it's that little bit extra of so what. So you describing what you've learnt, but how does it feed into this role? That's what I'm trying to sort of get across. So I hope I have got across with these examples and not confused you. Another example, working in whichever care area setting as a student has enabled me to develop key knowledge skills relating to whichever area, or to develop a knowledge or passion for supporting individuals, which you can fill in needs. I hope to further develop my knowledge and skills as I wish to. And then there's the so what again. How does it relate to my application, the role, the field, the setting? And then another example, so linking more to academic work. Although I found presentations challenging at the start of my course, I developed my teaching presentation skills to be able to, and then you can give some detail on the presentation, or it might have linked to patient care, patient information giving, for example. But then highlight your development and motivation to learn new skills. And because you've got over the worry about presenting and managed to do that, and how you wish to further develop skills in the role. So this is sort of linking in. You could link a dissertation, for example, in the same way, and you might utilise those teaching and presentation skills in the role that you're applying for. So my dissertation topic, service improvement, or it could be a proposal, patient information project, highlights, and you can give some detail that will inform my future nursing practice. And again, drawing out knowledge and skills from that project that demonstrates key transferable skills for the role. And that's why I said earlier, you need to know about the role or the employer or the field, specialist area that you're interested in, and then you can start aligning it to the, so that these examples and where you're drawing out key skills in your learning during the last few years is linking directly to what you're applying for. In the future, I aspire to become, and you can then link it to a specific role or career pathway. I hope to complete a post-registration course that demonstrates commitment to my role, pursuing a role. And this is if you really know where you're going. Don't put it in if you don't know what you want to do. That's absolutely fine. You've got to keep it authentic. But if you do and you've got an idea, then the so what for future aspirations is how does it relate to my application, the role, the setting, the field. And if you're moving into a rehabilitation area and you want to become a rehabilitation specialist nurse, for example, you're applying to develop key rehabilitation skills to use this person-centered approach that will help your future aspiration to become a specialist nurse in rehabilitation. So it's just another example, really. So in summary, allocate time to prepare and structure your personal statement, adhere to the guidance notes, do your background preparation and research, choose some good examples and highlight your key achievements that align to the role. You cannot get everything in, which is why doing the preparation at the beginning and some of those exercises and just bullet pointing some key notes will really help you, and then plan your paragraphs and sections and present examples, remembering to try and link them to the role that you're applying for. If you're not quite sure and you're going with an employer, you're not sure which area, on the job description there will still be a generic job description for a early career registered nurse, so you're aligning it to those skills so you can still link it to the role. I hope that you found that helpful. Do put comments in the YouTube channel if you found it helpful, or if there's other areas you want me to look at, and I'll answer questions. You can DM me on Twitter or Instagram as well. And I wish you every success with your first job application. Let us know how you get on. Good luck.